All right, here we go. I'm on hole number 9, or excuse me, hole number 10. Starting off, we shot the minus 15 on the front, which was my goal going in. Left a little bit on the table with the par threes. Didn't hit perfect going into the cup. I don't think I hit perfect going into the cup on any of the par threes. I think I only hit perfect on one of the par fives, but I did pick up the par fours and pick up the hole number 9. Got the eagle on hole number 9. So that's the round that I'm looking for. So let's see if we can replicate that on the back and try and focus on hitting perfect shots in on those holes that I missed. I've got these par threes dialed in. If I can hit them perfect going in, the two mid par fives, I'm still working on them. They're the ones that I'm still working on, and I'd like to get them dialed in before the weekend round. I'm not going to have time to play my practice account this week, so I'm going to have to whatever I can shoot here. I have enough time to play this in my low level account. I'll play it tomorrow, so we can at least get some looks at the holes before the weekend round, and then I will have time on the weekend, but I don't have time to play everything, so I'm just playing 2 accounts this week. And hole number 1 is Drew Moore Links. Hole number 2. All right. Let me pull out my trusty dusty calculator because I'm doing a minus 15% wind adjustment here. So doing the plus 10 I'm doing a plus 15. So doing the plus 10, plus 20, minus 10, minus 20, those numbers are easy to work out, but in my brain, when I get into these half numbers, it's a little harder. So it's 1.15 times whatever the wind is, and I'm going to bring a grizzly, and I'm going to bring a navigator. I'm bringing a navigator because that's the only Power 1 low wind ball that I have. So let's select it, and off we go. I'm doing a half a backspin, and I'm dialing in the side spin. I'm starting it off with my left hand white ring on the transition between the rough and the fairway. And I'm doing a plus 15%. Here we go. See if I go first. I always like going first. Come on. Come on. And my opponent goes first. Arr. See if my opponent can get this in. Dial it in. There's a bunch of different places you can start off out here. So depending on what club you bring, it's going to depend on where you're starting off. So I don't think the math works out absolutely perfect, but if you think about it, and there's one way to think about it is like my grizzly is 100% accurate. So that represents 1 mile per hour per ring. So I'm 5 rings off of that transitional surface. So if you have a club that isn't 100% accurate and you're having a hard time finding a spot, like counting your rings out, if it's a 2 per ring, it's going to be 2.5 rings off that transitional surface. I've got a 2.3 wind, so times 2.3 equals 2.64 rings. Right off the tip, I'm going to put on about a half a backspin, and I'm just going to dial it over to the hole. Let's see if I need to make a little slight adjustment. It's 2.3, it's 2.6 rings. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 6. Try and hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. Get in the hole. If it's got this speed, woo! That's what I'm talking about right there. Getting the hole in one. Yes, sir. Good luck in the tournament. All right, that's the way to start the back 9. Getting a hole in one on it, hitting it perfect. That's what it takes perfect shot in all these cups. So if you're not on a perfect streak, and it's not as big an issue, I try and always set my drives up so it's not as big an issue on the drive. But on those shots going into the cup, if you've got the right adjustments, you've got to hit it perfect. All right, hole number 2. All right, take a deep breath. Forget about anything else we've done. We're on another hole, one hole at a time. I'm trying to get into this area right here. And I'm just trying to dribble out there, and that is in my maximum rapier range, which is at 1.3 per ring, and I'm doing no wind adjustment, plus 0%. It's just 1.3 straight up. But I'm doing a 20% adjustment on the drive. And I'm taking an extra mile. I'm using the same type of topspin that you can get in an extra mile 8. Now, if you've got an extra mile 7 or an extra mile 6, you've only got like 4.5 topspin, and I'm using 6. So you may have to either bring out a little bit bigger ball, or you may have to put a little bit of overpower on it. And really, if it boils down to I'm rapier extra mile, anything else is, if I'm in any other club other than those two, I epic failed on the drive. And I'm bringing a Kingmaker to cut the wind down, as I'm taking the wind out on both shots. Here we go. Let's open up a chest. Never play without an empty slot. I saw on Facebook somebody asked, like, do you spend gems to speed up chests? Other than, I try and play a lot of 101 if you're playing in the lower division. If you're playing from Tour 7, sometimes in Tour 8, you can bump up to like a Quasar. You may have to use a Katana here and there. But trying to stick with, if you're in Tour 7 and below, trying to stick with a Marlin, I don't have to buy a lot of balls. And Marlins are fairly inexpensive. So I spend the mass majority of my gems opening up chests. Because yes, you're going to speed that process up, and we all want better clubs. So anything you can do to speed that process up is huge. Trying to go right towards the center. I want to be right dead center in the middle of that fairway. So it's 3-4. That's 6. That's 4. I'm gonna just do a 4. I'm gonna do a 2-ring pull. That's 4-2. No overpower. Hitting it perfect. And hoping that I have enough topspin where it clips that rough. It looks a little short. There we go. That looks great. Perfect. And just bleed off into that, not trying to get greedy, not trying to get to the front. I was doing it at the beginning. The first time I took that shot, I didn't add on the 20%, and I had 6.5 on there, and I just barely clipped the fairway. And I was really kind of surprised that it didn't bleed forward. It ended up in the rough in front, but it didn't bleed forward as far as I thought it would. So it wasn't bad, but you can't clip that rough because it takes so much topspin to get down there that you're going to end off. So then what I did was I stayed with the 6.5. I did a 20% wind adjustment, and I still just barely clipped it. So I took a half off and stuck with the 20%, and now we're in the range. No overpower is the key. The problem with doing it with the overpower is it's hard to judge, like how much overpower did I last time. It was perfect, and then the next time it's not so perfect. And it's easier to end up off trajectory. So on that shot, kind of aim it right towards the middle. So if you are a little off to the left or the right, you still got a great chance of it getting in. It should be right at max club. I'll put a little bit of backspin on it. I'm going to get it right up to the cup. Dead center on it. It's 1.3 per ring. I'm not adding anything on. So there's 2-6 and a little. 2-6 and a little. I just need to hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. Get in the hole. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. 2 in a row. Takes perfect shot into the cup. And I actually need to pull that back just a little bit more, because where it's bouncing and hitting the flagpole, I'm almost to the point on that flagpole where it's going to bounce backwards and clip the edge of the cup and not get in. And so I could be just a little bit farther back. That Rapier's ball guide, I am so close. I am like 2 or 3 cards away from getting that to level 8. And at level 8, I think it gets some ball guide. and I'd get that little tail. I was hoping it was going to be in the club car trading today. The club car trading today was funny. I'm really the only rares that I'm still working on are the Nirvana and the Rapier, trying to get them to level 8. And I'm working on my Hornet and my Guardian. The Guardian doesn't get a lot at level 9. It gets a little bit of accuracy, but it gets a little teeny bit of, it gets a little teeny bit of extra top spin. But the Hornet gets 100% accurate when it gets to level 9. And today I got the Hornet, the Guardian, and an Apocalypse. And my Apocalypse at level 4, I had to. Anytime I'm getting some of those rares like that, you got to respect them, and you got to, epics. You've got to put points in them, because it's going to take a long time to get those up, and you're not going to get them up if you don't start now. So in my auto account, that's pretty much the only thing I'm putting stuff into is the epics. Unless it's just one of those epics that I'm never going to use. All right, hole number 12. All right, hole number 12. And now this hole right here, I have not hit it perfect into the cup one freaking time this week. I would really just like to see what it looks like if I hit it into the cup perfect, so that I could start working on wind adjustments. It looks uphill, so I'm going to put on a minus 10%. And I know in the past, it always seems like I'm off to the way the wind's blowing here. And this is hole number 3. It always looks like when I hit into the cup, and in this tournament, the wind's blowing in this direction. And so let's just say every time I hit it, it's in this direction. Every single time I come here, I'm off, like I over pulled it. So the flag, here's the cup and here's the flagpole. I'm always off to the left. If the wind was blowing this way, I'm always off to the right. It seems like I'm always off. And it is, regardless of whether it's hitting that way or not, it is absolutely uphill from where we're hitting. And if you add on wind when it's downhill, it has to work where we take wind off when it's uphill. But I don't know if that number's right. It may be 5%. I have no idea, but I'm always off a little bit. And the deal is if I'm always off a little bit and I keep doing the same thing, I'm going to keep being off. So I'm going to take the shot. All right, sorry about that. I've been home all day, so my wife wanted to see me before she goes to bed. So imagine that. My wife actually likes me. And what's even more strange is I actually like my wife. Okay, so I'm going to make that change, and I just need to hit this freaking shot perfect into the cup. That's the deal. I'm bringing a rock. A rock or a QB are my preferred way to come at this type of hole. I'm bringing a sniper to bring it home. I'm taking a Kingmaker. And I haven't hit the drive. I think I hit the last 2 times I've hit this drive. I hit one great to the left, one great to the right, and the last one great to the left. So, and they were both there, and I made adjustments to make sure that I could get both those shots in. I really like to just catch perfect, be right down the middle. So I'm bringing my rock. I'm going to be 3 3/4 of a ring off the transitional surface. I'm going to put on 4 topspin and 5 side spin. Max curl. That's what my notes say. So at this point in the week, the practice round and the qualifying round are all about me trying to establish what clubs, where I'm landing, what my next club needs to be, and what ball I'm bringing. And so these shots, like as far as like the setups, at this point in the game, I should have these down. So 4 and 5. 3, 5. Do a 3.5 pull. Max curl. Oh, and I hit it. That might have been 2 rings great on the inside. That might be too much great. It's not great there. It's right in that spot right there. So that's excellent. And the deal is if you watch the last on hole number 3, I was in almost exactly the same spot, hitting at a great to the left, because the deal with curl is that the only thing that your landing spot here is different, but we're still going to go to the right. And in many cases, a great to the right might have put me a couple yards out farther from the cup. And a perfect might have, like let's just pick a number and say I'm 160 or 175 away, and a great to the right might put me at 177, and a great to the left put me at 173. And so you're going to end up in a very similar spot on the other end, as long as you leave enough room for that curl to become effective. Because if you pinch it there, I see a lot of people using curl where they pinch. They'll pinch it up against a transitional surface, and they don't allow enough room for that to develop. And so that's why I always leave myself so much room. Okay, I'm taking 10% off, and I'm right where I want to be. And it is hitting just a little bit longer than the ball guide is showing, so I'm going to be right in front of the cup. I want to go right dead center at the flagpole. I'm going to take 10% off, so that's going to be, I'm basically going to do a 2-ring pull. I just need to catch it perfect. And I hit it great to the right. Oh my gosh, I can't hit this. Oh, perfect. I think if you gave me, and the deal is that I was that far away on the other side on the last shot, and that's like right at that ring. I actually think it might be closer to plus or minus 5%. But I can't tell because I'm like that far off on a great to the right. It looked like I might have been just a little, I'm not sure. Yeah, but what I do like there, let me tell you what I did learn. My distance is right. Because if you go right, if you put your ball guide right up to the cup, the speed that you go past it is such that if you were on either side of the flagpole, you might bounce over. And if you hit the flagpole, you might bounce off. And so by leaving it just a little short, it is terminating to the point where if I was on track, that would have been in the hole. So if I can ever hit it perfect, if I can hit one freaking shot perfect in there, and I'm still not going to know whether that adjustment's right, even going into the weekend round. This is one of the benefits of having a practice account, because you got more chances to work those adjustments out. But if I hit that perfect one time and I'm still off to the left, then I know that I can work that number. I can see, I can adjust that number to try and dial me up. But I'm not going to be able to do that until I hit a perfect. This hole's kicking my butt. But you got to keep in mind too, the goal coming into a hole like this is to get an eagle. I got an eagle, and I gave myself an opportunity for Albie, and that was the goal. So one hole at a time. I accomplished my goal here, and I just didn't get the perfect so I could get that look. All right, I'm on hole number 13. What is hole number 13? Let's see here. Let's see. We got 6 holes left. How much time I got on this video? 18 minutes. I got plenty of time. Okay, hole number 13. Hole number 13 is going to be Glen Monarch. It's going to be hole number 1. And this is that par 3 that we're having issues with. Okay, so if the wind, where is hole number 1? Come on. Hole number 1. Okay, I just want to look at it here. All right, I have a game plan on this. I have a plan A and I have a plan B. And my plan A is I'm going to come in with a sniper, and I'm going to bring a turkey ball, which gives me 2.5, 2.25, same side spin as a marlin. If I have a wind, we have to add on 10% to the wind. If the wind is higher than 2 miles per hour, with the additional added on to it, instead of going straight at it, I'm going to move it over to the left and put all of the side spin on it and dial it in, and that gives me an extra ring of maneuver, because I'm trying to eliminate that sand from the adjustment, because that sand blows. In a word, it blows. That's a word. So with a 10% wind adjustment, if the wind is over 2, I'm moving it to the left. If it's under 2, I'm staying in the spot. And it was there on the front, and I didn't hit it perfect. My opponent goes first. Oh, okay, he's got a big win, but he's got a katana, which is a 2-wind ball. That's minus 25%. Now I'm with a 5-wind ball. I don't know how big of an adjustment that will make, but it looks like it's going to be one of those higher winds. Oh, close. I've hit it from that side many times from the second tees, but anytime you use curl on a shot, so it's 1.8. So we're adding on 10%. So we're excellent. And put on just a little sliver over one ring or one bar of backspin. Aim right at the cup. Push it forward a little bit so I got room. That's a 2-ring pull. And the wind's actually blowing a little. The 2-ring pull. It's actually blowing a little different than it was, so we have a little more room there in the front. Oh. Both times through didn't catch that perfect. I like to see what that wind adjustment does because it seems like it's farther off the cup. Like if you hit it normally, the wind on this hole is normally running in tournaments. In the past, it's always ran from the left to the right, kind of at the same angle that we're getting here. So we have the rough area there that we can work the wind out, and we never have to involve the sand. And it usually, like, man, if you're off, yeah, it's hard to tell when you don't hit perfect. But I like the speed there. I think that was a case of me pushing it forward a little bit more. I had a little bit better angle on it. I'm going to forfeit. That's all right. I got to save some of that stuff for the weekend round. I don't really count on par threes. I mean, I know that we have great opportunities on all 3 of these par threes. And I will tell you, coming into the week, I had no hope for hole number 1. But hole number 1 has actually been working out for me really well. But I never count on par threes. If I pick up, I try and work it out so the score that I think I'm going to need in order to be up towards the top of the bracket and be contending for a win, I try not to involve the par threes. The par threes are gravy. Like if you can pick up a par 3, every time I pick up a par 3 and I get a hole in one, that is a winning shot right there. That's a shot that will win you around. All right, I'm on hole number 14. Hole number 14 is Monarch hole number 4. Okay, need to hit it perfect into the hole. I'm trying to use my more accurate clubs because I don't want to, I'm trying to get out there a little farther than I normally would on this just because I'm trying to work with the wind. I'm using a Kingmaker. Kingmaker will work. Rock, Kingmaker, Hornet. Those are the clubs. Open up my pin chest. Get that rolling. All right, just need to hit these par 4s perfect into the cup and they will go in. I've got these par 4s dialed in. They were my main focus at the beginning of the week, and I'm working on the par 5s and the par 3s. Hole number 9, I've played a bunch, so it's either there or it's not. Glen Monarch, that hole number 9 has been in this game since the very beginning. And so in one-on-one play, when it was in the lower divisions, I played it. It's a birdie hole. I mean, unless you're willing to bring out a big ball, it's a birdie hole. I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to do a little bit of a wind adjustment here. I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to do a 4-ring pull because it seems like it's wanting to go more to the right-hand side towards that rough. Just a titch of overpower on it. Not enough to make the needle go any faster, but enough to give me any distance I can get's better. Hitting it perfect. I gotta watch out for that because you can't put much overpower on it there because it damn near clipped that rough going up there. That was almost bad. Let's look at my teammates. My teammates are talking on our messenger. Sorry about that. Being real quiet there. I was reading some messages. We're working and we're my team. If there's nothing else, I really congratulate my team because my team is not stuck on like this is they work on their stuff all week long. They're constantly trying to evolve their game. And when we find that shot that's replicatable and we find that shot that's in the hole, counting on 10%. They are really big on working on it, so I need to be forward enough to be able to work the wind out. Max backspin. Get right up on the cup. Okay, it's 3.6. I'm going to add on. That's 3.9, almost 4. Almost 4. There's 4.4, so we're a little less than that. There's 4. That's 4.4, so we're a little less than that. And to remember, I was thinking I was at 100% already. Oh, perfect. Now let's see if I screwed that wind adjustment up, moving it around. And I did. That was my fault. I forgot that I've been hitting everything. I've been trying to hit everything with 100% accurate clubs. And I forgot where my wind adjustments were. It's actually was in minimum club and it wasn't 4.4. I effed that shot up so bad. It's not even funny. The adjustment there should have been 2.2 per ring. And I was doing a 4. It should have been slightly less than 2 rings, and I pulled it 4. Oh my God. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? I need to highlight that number there so I don't have to think. That was this one right here. I'm going to circle 2.2, dummy. 2.2. I'm going to erase. I have all my numbers written down there for my Hornet, and I did the wrong freaking adjustment. Oh, that makes me unhappy. And that's player error. And I know where I ended up. I was right there on the cup, but the deal is that would have been in the cup if I would have made the right adjustment. I played this hole way too many times, and I've done that adjustment way too many times that I know. Coming in these Glen Monarch holes, we played these in a 9-hole cup, and that 9-hole cup, I've played these holes since the very beginning, and I know the adjustments on these par 4s. And hole number 9 is just one shot at a time. If you don't succeed on the drive, then you're SOL. And that's the brown stuff out of luck. Damn it. That was an epic fail. All right, it's one hole at a time. One hole at a time. Forget about what happened on that hole. We can analyze that later. Good luck in the tournament. All right, this next hole, I was hitting minus 10%. I finally caught a shot perfect into the cup on the last time by, and I was still off on the wind side. So, and I wasn't that far off, but I was off. And I kind of split the difference. So I'm going to do a minus 5%, and I'm working my way back towards 0. I've tried 0. I don't know how many times, and 0 doesn't work. I'm always like I overpull it. So hole number 15. Let's go look at it just so I can burn it into my memory banks. Drew more links. Hole number 6. Hole number 6. All right, I'm taking where I was at last time is really where I want to be. And I'm taking a extra mile. I'm trying to get into my grizzly range. Taking an extra mile, sniper, grizzly. It's going to be one of those two clubs. Either one will work, but I'd rather be in my grizzly. And then as far as ball goes, is the game froze up on me here? I'm taking a season 17 ball, which is a power 4-3 wind. I'm not trying to do any overpower at all here, and I'm doing plus 10% on the drive. No, that's the wrong one. Yeah, I'm not doing anything special except for that -5 on that cup. So 0.95 times the wind. Okay, you're gonna make me pick the ball? I picked the ball. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just looked at it and didn't pick it. Okay, max top spin. And however much side spin I can still get on there. I want to be 2 rings off that transitional surface. Taking the wind out. 3-1. About a ring and a half. Ring and a half. I'm going to put some side or curl on it to the left just to bring it back over to the fairway. Hitting it perfect. I'm just trying to get it. I want the second bounce, and it's carrying good down there. I want that second bounce to be almost completely through that landing zone there. So if I did end up, for some reason, hitting it bad, it would clip that and still roll forward. It would definitely be a wood shot, but I'm trying to eke my way up there into my grizzly, max grizzly, without having to do any overpower. Now you can get the same thing with a level 8 extra mile, and bringing a power 5 ball is not necessarily going to help you, other than you can start further to the right where the fairway's deeper, but you're going to have to curl it all the way back to the other side. And there is a rough bump you can do if you're in this area, but I tried it at the beginning of the week and I did not like it. So 0.95 times 2.1 is a 2-ring pull. Trying to get right there. I bring all the side spin to bear. Just try and dial it to the hole. To bring it a little into my comfort zone. I'm doing a 2-ring pull. 2 rings. Just try and hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. Finally. I finally hit a shot perfect into it. Twice in a row. And that was an under pull. The way the wind was blowing. So I'm going to go back to 0. I guess I go back to the drawing board. I guess I'll go back to 0. Some of my opponents have taken that shot and they're like, they are doing a wind adjustment on it, and some of them are at 0. So the deal is that you gotta keep working it. That's what's funny about this game, is one person can be hitting with an adjustment, one person's not, and one person's making it and the other person's not, and they're like, hey, you should try mine out, and then they try it out and it's still not working. It's just the way it works. I know if I come to this in the opening round and I don't do any wind adjustment on it, and I'm off on one side or the other, I'm going to offset it that far. And I tried that rough bump, and I'll tell you that you can get close with that rough bump, but if you make any mistakes at all, you're screwed. I mean, it's not SOL, you're screwed. Isn't it perfect? In the hole. I was talking to Dale Appleby last night. Hell, we were talking for like an hour and a half last night. We talked until like 1 o'clock in the morning. And he was like, he uses the app. He's like me. He knows the numbers without the app, but he uses the app, especially like on the drive shots. He may or may not use the app, but the shots coming in where you got to do a lot of technical stuff, he'll use the app. And one of the things he was complaining about is the app will let you do like a 5% or a 10% or a 15%. And there's some of these holes that it's all, he's like, man, I wish it would let me do like a 7 or like had a graduated scale so that you could type in 7 or 7.5 and you could change that up, because it seems like on some of these holes that like Playdemic's not stupid. They've got this down. They know that people have gotten a much better at playing this game and that we've dialed in stuff, and they have set it up so that we're always like right there and it's close, and you got to be on one side of the cup or you got to be on the other side of the cup. All right, that was hole number 6. How far are we in our video? 36 minutes. Still got plenty of time. Hole number 7. Hole number 16. This is the next par 4. And let's try not to blow the wind adjustment like I did on the last one. Okay, hole number 4. It's hole number 2 of Glen Monarch. All right, straightforward. Hitting against a headwind. Hitting against a side wind on the drive and hitting against a headwind to the cup. I'm bringing an extra mile. And I'm bringing a Hornet and a Rapier. Those are the only clubs that I'll need, and I won't really know. I'm going to be right at minimum Hornet, which is 2.2 per ring. Let's try and get that right this time. I should have just reset the shot and then made a quick adjustment and snapped it off, and I'd have had a better shot on that other one. It was close, and if I would have made it, I wouldn't have I didn't deserve to make it. I blew that wind adjustment so bad. Hitting 3.0 wind. Thing I don't like about being over there is you've got to, and I'm not sure why they're putting overpower on it with Titan, but that curl and stuff, this hole is very easy to end up in that rough. And the whole deal is that we really want to be taking the shot from that fairway. And so you don't have to pull it off to the right and put overpower on it to get up there. It's real simple. Get in this pocket. You got a level, even your level 6 will get over into that. You may have to move it a little bit over to the right if you've got a level 6, but I'm still in that pocket with a Titan. Be right in that area right there. 2.6, doing a 10% wind adjustment. So I'm doing 2.86, so 2.9. There's 2.9. I'm just trying to hit it perfect. No overpower. Hitting it perfect. Just trying to nice and easy bleed it up to the front of that fairway. And I got a little bit extra there. I may have to actually shoot this with my maximum Rapier. Where the red line's out there, I'm having to put some backspin on in order to have some maneuverability, and you've got to get right up on the cup, because even though it's 2.5 headwind, it seems like it's laying it down. And I'm going to do minus 10% to the cup. Minus 10%. 2.2 per ring. Or 1.3 depending on which club I'm in. All right, deep breath. Take deep breaths. Here we go. Here we go. And I am gonna be in my max Rapier. Taking 10% off on the wind. Just dial it up just a little. We're right at the cup. It's 1.3 per ring, and I'm taking off. So it's going to be 1.7. There's 1.3. That leaves me 4. That's about a third. So about 1 1/3 rings. Need to hit perfect. Oh, and I hit it great to the left. It'll miss. It was a near miss, just like the other par 4. So I failed on 2 of the par 4s. Epic. Perfect shot in the hole. Not perfect. And I could hedge my bets on that shot, and I could set off to one side and hedge my bet so I have a great to one side and a perfect, and the great on the other side completely misses. That's that 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And I may do that. I may start setting up on one side of the flagpole so that I can catch the great on one side and the perfect, and it would go in. Not necessarily like split the difference between the flagpole and the edge of the cup, but put my ball guide so that it's right on the other side of the flagpole. I'll have to go back and watch that and see exactly how close I was, if that adjustment would have caught me that great, or if I would have still been like right on the edge of the cup where I would have to split the difference. So if you got your flagpole, here's your, am I going to get it? My pencil. Here's your cup and here's your flagpole. Instead of being right here, you split it in halves and quarters. If you just move it off so that it's right on the other side, you're 1/4 off, and splitting it to the half, the perfect still goes in the hole, but it opens up this edge of the cup. And so you could hit a great, in this scenario, a great to the right, and it would go in, so you get 2 out of 3, and then your great to the left then misses way out here. So you can pick 2 out of 3 ain't bad. When you're that close, you can give yourself a little bit more room so that you can try and catch that perfect on, or the great on one side or the other, and it still won't affect your perfect shot. All right, we need to get a hole in one here to make up for the 2 par 4s that I dropped. It won't make up for those, but it will at least get me. My minimum score going in, as I wanted to shoot, was a minus 30, so we're off track. I got 2 holes, and the last hole at best is an eagle hole. So the most I got here is a 29. So we need to pick it up. Let's go look at it. Hole number, so we're on hole number 17, right? Hole number 17. I just want to glance at this hole. I have a plan on this hole. And last time we were on here on the front 9, I figured out the wind thing. So it's Glen Monarch hole number 5. Just want to look. It's the hourglass par 3, the peanut par 3. I'm bringing a sniper and a marlin, not a navigator, marlin. All right, plus 10%. If the wind is 3 miles an hour or more, I'm doing backspin. If the wind is less than 3 miles an hour, I'm doing the rough bump. I have no idea what the dial in is for the backspin. I'm just going to have to dial that in. It's probably going to be max backspin, but if it's more than 3, I'm doing the backspin. If it's less than 3, I'm doing the rough bump. I should say if it's 3 or more. We got a 3.5, and they've got a katana, so I'm going to have a bigger wind than 3. Because they've got a 2, and I've got a 1 wind ball. I've never been a fan of hitting in the front right there. And the reason is that most people hit in the front right there, they don't make, they're about 4 rings off from the very end. So that's 3/8. So they are like literally, like, look how close this ball comes to the rough down here at the end of that peanut, and they better hit it perfect. And they are sunk. Ooh, I cannot believe that they were able to, that they did not clip that rough down there. That is amazing. Okay, I got a 3-4. So I'm doing the rough, I'm doing the backspin shot. I'm going right at the cup. Backspin right to the cup. With the way the wind is blowing. And I want to be, where am I at on the cup? It's tailing off into the left-hand edge. I add 10% on, so that's going to be 3-7, 3-7-4. There's 3-5. There's 3-7. And I got 3-7-4. That's absolutely 3-7-4. Did you see that 0.04 in there? I got it. Hit it perfect. That's the first time I've hit it perfect into this all week. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Had to switch to plan B and made my first hole-in-one on that hole this week. That's what I'm talking about. And this is the prime example of when you go into these holes, if it's not working out one way or if you're having an issue, having a backup plan. The wind is the way the wind is, and so all the best I can do is to go in there and make contingency plans for it. All right, hole number 9. We're going to try and get this in with the video. If for some reason the video all of a sudden stops, I will fire up another one real quick. Hole number 3. I just want to glance. Come on. All right. Okay, I'm prepared. I'm taking my number. Is it the number 3 bag, number 4 bag? Okay, if I need anything that's not in that bag, I got bigger problems than the fact that I needed something that wasn't in that bag. It's all about this drive shot. I hit it perfect into the perfect. Possibly 2 rings great to the left and 1 ring great to the right. I'm in that fairway. If I hit it anything other than that, I'm going to be I could potentially be in a spot of bother. And if I'm in a spot of bother, I'm going to take a deep breath and simply hit it to the nearest fairway without having to do any overpower. And I'm going to stick it in the middle of whatever fairway I can reach. And more than likely, if I was in there, I can get it over to this fairway right here with my Spitfire or my Nirvana. I don't want to have to do that. I want to get the shot right. So they've got a white ball and they got 4 win-win. So I'm going to be in the mid 3s, low 3s. So that's going to be somewhere in the 3 3/4 topspin, 3.5. See if they can get this. They're laying it up, and if they're laying it up here, the smart play is to lay it up and then go to the island on the right. I will tell you that in one-on-one, even when we were just here in one-on-one and it's a birdie hole and you're playing for that, I went for it every single time. I have hit off of that island over there, but like my opponent is hopefully going to do, but I went for it every single time. Max in about 3.5, maybe 3 3/4. With that wind, I'm going to need to be towards 4. So I'm hitting right there is where I'm trying to hit. And so with a 2-6 wind, I'm going to aim right inside of that sand trap. Max curl, max overpower. One ring great on the inside. You can see it comes in at that angle. Oh, too much. Woo! That's the deal. If you hit it great to the right, you run out of fairway faster than if you hit it to the left. The fairway's a little bit deeper. And so anything you hit on the right, I like when I hit those greats to the left, I don't have any fear at all. But when I hit that great to the right, that is scary crap. But I'm aiming towards here and I'm trying to come through that sand at the narrowest point at the angle so that I'm going straight across that area, not diagonally across it, because it takes just angle wise, it's longer when you hit it diagonally through there than if you just try and hit it straight through there. And I am way the hell up there. Okay, so it's been coming in a little faster than I'd like. So I'm going to hit about 2 and just a sliver. Okay, so when it's at rest, and I'm way out there, so I'm going to come out just a little bit farther than I normally do. Come out. Normally about a half. I'll go just a little bit more than that. It's 3-6. There's 3-6. I'm going to do a full 2-ring pull. See if we can get my wind arrow here. I'm running out of time. Oh shit, I don't know if I'll have enough time for it to get back over there. Okay. Perfect. All right. It's somewhere between. I could have put it, if I would have put it more towards, I was trying to, I had extra distance. So I had about 2 rings farther of distance out there on it. So that means like the curl. I should have been a 1/4 ring off of the ball guide, and I was about 2/3 off the ball guide if I wanted to get on the trajectory going right at the cup. But I had my speed right, so if I would have been on trajectory, my speed was a little bit better than it's been. But I still got a ton of work to do here. This is by no means a gimme shot. Oh, that was so close. That was, oh my gosh. That was a nice shot. They were right on that. That was very nice. Okay, so from this distance, I'm going to go right at the flagpole. I put a little bit of topspin on it. That flat, I want that ball guide sticking through that hole. Isn't it perfect? I did this shot. The last time I did that shot, I just watched that ball guide and it terminates right here at it. And so it barely rolled into it the last time I had to take that chip shot from over there. Woo! That's what I'm talking about right there. I don't care how you have to get it done, as long as you can get an eagle on hole number 9. I mean, that is all important, is to get that eagle. So if you got to scramble to get it, make a little bit of an adjustment out there, getting up there so that you're taking that short pitch. That is the deal. So picking it up on that, getting that hole in one, picked my round up. So let's see where I went wrong here. So I got hole number 10. That was something I didn't do on the front. Make sure I have enough time to talk. I do. So picked up the hole in one. That was a pickup. And then turned around and dropped 5 on a bad wind adjustment. And dropped 7 on a not perfect shot. And so those 2 right there, but I did pick up 2 hole in ones to compensate for it, but I should have been able to hold on to those, and instead of a 30, it's 32. I'm not too upset about this, because really my goal going in on my goal sheet was I'm looking for -15, -30, and then the weekend round my goal is -30 plus. So this was not the way here on the back 9 that I was looking to get to the 30, but this is the way right here to get to the -15, and then this right here and this right here would have been added on. So still have some room for improvement on perfect shot, but and still looking at these 2 par 5s, these mid par 5s, hole number 3 and hole number 6. These are areas that I still have room for improvement. I've got the drive shots down. It's not the drive. I've achieved my goal that I did in the practice round, where I figured out how I wanted to come out and what ball I wanted to use. And now it's just a matter of trying to get the wind adjustment so that I can try and dial in an Albie. And if I can't figure it out on the front, I'm just going to go back to no extra wind adjustments and just try and hit it in the cup. on the back nine. But my real big focus is those par fours and hole number 9. And that'll get you to minus 30. And that's the round that we're looking for. That's definitely going to get us, that's going to put us in the hunt in the weekend. And that's all you can ask for, is that you can be in the hunt. And so we'll have to see how the brackets go. It should give me really good tiebreakers going in the weekend round. I really like to go into the weekend round with a high tiebreaker. It really means that if this was in the weekend round, somebody'd have to shoot an Albie to beat me, or they'd have to shoot a 31. And so it really puts a lot of pressure on the people that are in the bracket. So that was the opening round of the 2020 St. Patrick's Day tournament. That was the back nine. Thanks for watching. If you're not a subscriber, please hit subscribe at the bottom. We appreciate it in the channel. I got like 613, so we're moving up. We got 600 in the last tournament and trying to get to 1,000. That's the goal. So thanks for watching. Have a great tournament.